I've got a new uncapping device that I'm going to show you. Do a little review on it. I bought it myself. I have been looking at things like it for a while. Usually I just use a knife. I use a knife and uncap that way. And this thing is like different. So I'm going to do a whole video on it because it's supposed to be able to do Langstroth and national frames with just a bit of an adjustment. So I'm going to do a full-on video review for something for once. I paid for it. I got it locally. I was looking for one on the internet. I've been looking for one on the internet, and they're like, well, they vary in price. They go from anywhere from like 200 to like £400. It depends if you want a capping tank and all the jazz. So this one, I managed to get it on eBay, local to me. I only had to drive 7 miles to get it for £100. So I was a bit chuffed, and it was brand new in the box. When I asked the man, because I always ask when I buy beekeeping equipment whether they kept bees and stuff, and he said no, his dad bought a load of stuff in a bulk sale, and it was amongst everything in a bulk sale. Because I asked if there was any other beekeeping equipment in the sale that he was selling, and he said no, it was just that. It was just in a box with like no label or anything on. So they probably took them a while to realise what it was. But yeah, I'll do a video on that. The bees are quite busy. Busy trying to rob each other and defend against the wasp. Anyway, I'm done, I'm gone. Bye. Welcome back, everyone. So I'm at the unit. It's a bit messy in here. I've got to have a good tidy up. But busy man and that. But yeah, this is what I got. I was talking about in the other video that I'll show you. And I bought it myself, so I know what you're thinking. It's a Coleman cooler. Everyone's got one. But it's actually this, because it's getting time to take the honey off. There's going to be quite a few boxes this season, and usually I uncap with a knife. So we put the camera somewhere so you can see. I've actually got the GoPro today, so it'll stick there. Right, so I'll show you what it is. Yeah, I usually uncap with an uncapping knife or an uncapping fork, but I'll pick one of these up. There's a few of these on the market, a few different ones I've seen, ranging from, like, as I say, anywhere from £100 odd. Hang on a minute. Ranging from £100 odd all the way up to like 400, 500 for similar things. So this is like a roller. So I managed to get this on it was Marketplace. No, it was eBay, and it was local to me. It was only 5 miles in the next town, and as I say, it's brand new. I have been having a little play around with it, putting some frames through it. Now on the advert it says these do Langstroth National anything, and you can adjust them. Here there's little bits for them to adjust. Now these are all just washers. They look like little thin sharp washers really, and then they have rubber, I don't know whether it's rubber or plastic in between, and you can adjust it, because at the minute, like, where's the Langstroth frame? I did have one a minute ago. Oh yeah, here's one. So a Langstroth, this is even like the Langstroth frame is bigger, look. But if you look, you can take this thing to this adjustment, and then that lines up with that bar, and the same this side, and in with it comes bits to do that, and it also comes with these like anchor bolts that go in there so you can anchor it down. And where's the box? Because there is instructions in the box. Not that we read instructions. No, I took the instructions out. Yeah, here's the instructions that come with it. Obviously it's Chinese made, so they're not great, but once you bought a few Chinese products you start to understand what they mean in their instructions, even though it's a bit hit and miss. And it does tell you, you know, how to adjust it, the clamp spring and everything, and it tells you all about it basically. Look, there's your bolt and stuff and how to operate it. So it does come with instructions, problems, maintenance. So yeah, it does come with instructions, but it don't come with a company name, and it weren't even on the box. So what I did was have a little route around on YouTube, found some similar, and then found similar on eBay, and like these are like £294 on eBay. Well, I managed to get this for £105, so I think we got a bargain if it works. And I looked on eBay at the other sellers and messaged a couple of the sellers about, because it says it'll do nationals and everything, and I did get some response from China in the middle of the night from a couple of the sellers. One actually chased up a bit more information from, because they bulk sell them, so they got more information from one of the manufacturers, I guess. And they said to do nationals, what you do, you have to take it apart, you take the washers out. So get rid of that. Obviously to do that Langstroth, you've got to add another rubber and another washer and push the C-clip, because they've got C-clips, to the next groove in the shaft thing there. You can adjust it here, they said, like tight, the load tightness on the frames. You get extra bands, you got spare bands, and you can get all these little bits online if you just do a bit of research and chase up a Chinese seller. So I'll get a national frame. No, I've got a lot of melting out to do, melting crap frames out. Old frames, look, mouses have had that, wax moth, mouse, wasp, got to melt them out. So we look like, anyway, shut up mate, we've got a national, so we line that up there. So you wouldn't really need to do anything with this end, but from what I could figure out from what the seller said, what you do, you pull all these ones off, and then that washer there, replace it with one of these. So you remove a washer basically to make a gap for the bar. So I'd say probably you would remove, yeah, you would just remove one probably. That's tight against the bar, so you don't want it too tight against the bar, so leave a little gap. So yeah, you'd remove two. Basically you could just take them all off and then just ram, you got one white washer there, take that slicer out, both rollers, push the washer up, take that slicer out, push the washer up this way again, and then you'll have a gap for the frame bar to go through. So you only need to remove two washers. You don't even have to like take them off, I don't think. You could just reconfigure them so they're over here somewhere. Do it on both rollers, and then that's a gap for your frame to go through, for your frame bar to go through. So that's what we got. So I will do a follow-up on this video, and I've come up with, because some of them, like, they come with you get a capping and capping tank. Obviously you need one. Well, I've had this for a while, because this was with an uncapping tank that I was using before, like poor man's capping tank, but does the job. It's all clean, it's good clean. All you're doing is putting your wax cappings in, and then it's got drain out for the honey, which goes through a sieve and everything. So I'm thinking 2 bits of wood in here, and then I'm going to mount this so it sits on the wood, and then you just got to push your frames in from here, from the top. See, they're a bit tight at the minute, but they go in, and as you push them down, wiggle them about a bit, pull them back out. Obviously it's not all fixed down, but when it's all fixed down, I reckon it'll work. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to fix these bits of wood into this cooler, this old Coleman cooler, fix bits of wood in there, and then I'm going to figure out how to fix that on there. And also then it just becomes one unit, you store that in there, job done. And apparently these things don't take off much wax. The cappings that you get from the end, you get hardly any wax cappings. So the only downside with that is I met the candles with the wax cappings, but we can soon figure something else out. Like obviously all this wax needs to be melted out, that will all become candles. And then there's all these old frames, there's a whole bin full there that needs melting down. So we've got a load of stuff to melt down. A lot of it's from dead outs. These are dead outs, dead outs, dead out. But all the ones on the bottom, some of them bottom frames are dead outs, and then the others are supers where I've stored them and then the moss got in there and ate them. So remelt them. And this is also the same. I have been doing them. I'm just slow man's game. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. So I'll put the box together, and then when I'm just done it, I'll come back and show you how I'm doing it. And if you think I'm doing it, I can do it any differently and better, then let me know. Don't be shy, because with the beekeeping, everything's good. It's all good fun and everything. Once you start to scale things up, that becomes a real long time consuming bit of fun. So anything that can speed up the processes, because uncapping and spinning out is a process, so anything that can speed that up, make that more efficient, is a bargain. So, and uncapping things vary from price. Like you get your uncapping fork, well that's like £4 or £5. Imagine that. Imagine how long that's going to take you to uncap. Ding 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 ding. When you've got like say 50 supers to do, you're going to be there a week. So anything that makes it faster and efficient it's got to be better, isn't it, to everyone, anyone's really. And yeah, uncapping things range from anything from say like that £5 all the way up to however much money you want to spend. I'm sure out there's some magical mystical uncapping machine that will cost you probably £250,000 if you wanted to go that far. Because if there ain't, and you say you wanted it, some fool had met you part with your money and met you it. But yeah, ideally, like that beekeeper says, keep it simple, stupid. But you've got to still think, you've got to keep it efficient and fast. So I'll put it together and we'll see. And I'll take you through the whole process when I change, because obviously when I do use it, I'm gonna have to change it from Langstroth to not lion size, to national size. So I am gonna have to take it apart and do it. So I will do a follow-up video with that and all. Okay, so that's how I think I'm going to do it. It's just going to sit on them 2 bits of wood. You can use the handles to strap the cooler down. This, I'll put them 2 bolts on. I'm not going to put one now because I'm going to take it to bits too. But yeah, I'll put them 2 ring bolts on. And then I'll probably just screw that into there. Butchery, I know, but it works. It works. yeah, I've been collecting up all the nukes that are empty, ready to put back into storage, because I'm not making no more splits, I don't think. I need to check colony strength and stuff, because we see where we need to combine a couple or anything. But yeah, when I carry on with this, I'll come back and show you. To take it to bits, you just, seems like you're going to do them 2 bolts there and there. The same the other side. And then the rollers, these ends come off and the rollers come out. So it's a pretty simple design really. And if it will do both, sets of frames, then that's ideal in a bargain, because I did notice with these you can either get a Langstroth one or you can get a Nationals one, so then you've got to buy 2, so double the cost if you're running 2 different sorts of frames. There's perhaps a way around it, like this was the other option that I see, so I thought for the price it's worth a go.